From the W2 Web Network studios on the internet, it's Life is Like a Game Show. And here's our newlywed hosts, who are not newlyweds. Myself, Brian Espinoza, Jonathan Nielsen, Eric Watkins, and Harry Broadhurst. And I don't know how long y'all have been with the network, but hey, here we are. That was a very botched Newlywed Game intro, and if you can't tell, it's Love Month here on Life is Like a Game Show on the W2M Net. And this week, we're covering the Newlywed Game as we get an instant X right off the bat from John.
Good evening, afternoon, whenever you happen to be listening, and welcome to Life is Like a Game Show, a presentation of the W2M Network online at W2Mnet.com. I am your host, which I guess makes me the Eubanks of this shindig. I'm Harry Broadhurst. Joining me, as per usual, your three traditional co-hosts, the executive producer, Eric Watkins.
Oh, you'll know why that this particular show was mentioned, as we'll discuss later. You'll see. There's a payoff.
It's one could argue it's a happy ending. Jonathan Nielsen.
See, this is where I would spoil it by spoiling the joke early, but that's just no fun for anybody.
You can't blow your load too early on Life is Like a Game Show. What do you think we are? Power of 10?
Speaking of blowing loads early, I feel like I'm Milton DeLug here, surrounded by a band of thugs. More on him later.
And I think Jonathan Nielsen just broke Brian Espinoza.
Yep, he's broken. There's an insane mind that came up with this show. Along with another show we were talking about before.
As previously mentioned at the end of last week's episode, where we covered the non-Gene Rayburn. Although Gene Rayburn did make an appearance in the Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour.
Did somebody say a new car? Is the button not there yet?
Again.
Okay.
No, the button's not there yet. Again, StreamYard audio clips versus video clips. I mean, granted, it was hard enough where I had a whole bunch of stuff flooding in our Discord, which, of course, for anybody who's watching or listening, please join us on Discord. Invite link will be in the description.
I mean, that's more appropriate. Yes, I was going for the MGHS car queue.
Well, that was more for the fact that we didn't have the car queue ready.
Speaking of MGHS, new background.
Exactly. For those of you who are of more of an astute mind, we finally happen to have a background for this show.
All right. So as we were saying when we covered Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour and all the other iterations, non-Rayburn hosted of Match Game last week, February is Love Month here on Life is Like a Game Show.
Game shows we love. Thank you very much.
Not this show and not me.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't that what GSN called it too? And I'm not trying to get slapped with a copyright suit.
Look.
No, game shows we love is, like July, August, not February.
Fair use. Fair use.
Anyways,
February. Oh, Jesus.
The four of us each picked our own game show for this particular month here with a love theme, a dating theme, a
Jerry.
I bet you I'll get through this fucking intro, folks.
I already did the intro, Harry. I don't know why you're doing it again.
But I'm explaining what's going on with the plan.
I also hate Star Wheels on the record.
You just hate Star Wheels because you're Richard Dawson and you got tired of them shutting you down.
Baggage, Tattletales, and singled out. Still to come later this month. We do start with Game. And I have a question for you guys before we get started here, because there's something that's been bothering me about this show ever since we decided that we were going to do this.
You have a question already.
What do you think I was doing?
How long can you be married to still be considered newlyweds? Because that 22-month bullshit was wrong.
I think that the limit is within 2 years.
Nah.
I mean, look, that
is an unfair competitive advantage.
Look, man, you're the closest of the four of us to being anywhere near being a newlywed, so I calm your tits, okay?
I don't disagree with that sentiment. The point of which being that being together that long is an unfair advantage in a situation such as this. Easy for me to say.
Brian, look, I'm including your gimmick too, okay? My sentiment stands. And if you want to change,
this gimmick infringement will not be seen tonight.
Look, if you want me to go ahead and pay for an all expenses paid round trip to Taiwan for you to change that otherwise, then feel free.
I'm waiting for him to yell at him and call him a son of a bitch like this was an episode of Point of Viewer.
This is a family show.
No, it's not.
This is a family show.
I mean, more family show than Point of Viewer. Although a couple of the references forthcome in this episode, not so family friendly.
This is a family show. You will get your comeuppance Friday at 11 p.m.
Oh, you mean when we have this week's episode of Point of Viewer Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern here on the W2M network?
Segway!
Yes, you will get your comeuppance then.
Notice
how I am leaning into my camera and giving you the death glare.
He is giving you the wherefore and the what for. Something about a cactus.
This is the I will meet you outside in the parking lot after school showdown, buddy.
All right, let's get to this. Mr. Nielsen, do you have the non-credible academic?
As Nielsen is over there, like looking like a deer in headlights, like what in the fuck is going on here?
I'm just waiting for the history cue. Harry gave me the history cue, so we're going back to 1966 for this one.
Meanwhile, I'm going to cool down with this cool, refreshing York peppermint patty. Because we totally can't be bribed or bought here on the W2M network, but we sure as hell can be rented.
I can be bribed for the right items.
By the way, you can send your bribes and sponsorship inquiries and your hate mail to s.garber@gmail.com.
And now with the non-credible academic resource history of the Newlywed Game, here's Jonathan Nielsen. Jesus.
1966.
Send him full screen, Eric.
Oh shit, I got a full screen.
You're also blurry as fuck.
Yeah, your camera's fucked up. I'm sorry. I set that all up and I got a little.
Yeah, webcam's not working with me in that regard tonight.
You should switch mics, John. I'm about to go on a laugh fest.
Gladly laughing, boy. Chuck it up over there. Out of the twisted fucking mind of the great Chuck Barris came this show that I absolutely personally can't stand, but I can still talk the history of it. And also bring up some interesting names associated with it, some of which you guys probably don't even know were associated with this show. Censoring my own opinions, much like this was censored from actually referring openly to sexual intercourse with making whoopee.
More on that later.
It's twice I've been interrupted now. This show was created by...
Interrupting Jonathan Nielsen is a W2M network gimmick.
I can't mute the man because we're in the same freaking room, but I can empty this drink and throw a bottle later. Created by Nick Nicholson and E. Roger Muir.
Don't spill his food again, or we'll have to wait another half an hour to get the show going.
This show was directed originally by the one and only Bill Carruthers.
The Bill Carruthers, yes.
The Bill Carruthers. I'm sorry. Mr. Pressure Luck, Bill freaking Carruthers directed this thing, 66 to 74. Then John Dorsey, Jeff Goldstein, Paul Casey, and Rob Fielder rounded out till 1998. Presented by, a little bit of a who's who here, Bob Eubanks. This is the show Eubanks is known for. Jim Lang with an unsold pilot, Paul Rodriguez, Gary Kroger, who did a lot of announcing on shows in the late 90s, Carney Wilson, Sherry Shepard. Announcers. Oh, this is a good list. Scott Beach, Johnny Jacobs, Tony McClay, Roddy, Bob Hilton, Charlie O'Donnell of Wheel of Fortune fame, Ellen Kay, John Kramer, Bad Aldois, and go with the best. Yes, I'm going to say his name, Randy West, 2009, 2010 there.
What the hell is this? The Who's Who of game show announcers?
Show had a lot of great names with it, even I disagree with it personally. The theme music, a Chuck Barris creation as well. I mean, the guy wrote Palisades Park for crying out loud. Composers. Another bit of who's who here in the musical arena of game shows. Lynn Barris, originally. Frank Jeff. Lee Ringette. Hey, Eric, you should know that name.
Why is that name ringing so much of a bell?
Because you work with Bill Carruthers on Pressure Luck, that's why.
That explains it.
Milton DeLugg and his band of thugs that were the house band for NBC at the time. Jim Latham, Steve Kaplan did a few other shows in the 90s. Barry Coffin, Jay Blakelock. Blakelock. Wow, I can't pronounce today. I blame being interrupted all the time.
So you're telling me that you can't words? Somebody passed on the mantle after all, in absentia.
But yeah, this show, ABC from 66 to 74, as well as the 84 unsold pilot. Syndicated 77 to 80, 85 to 89, 96 to 99, and GSN 09 to 13. This show had a long-ass run. And that's pretty much everything I know about the show. So, everybody, get in here. There we go.
First of all, shout out Ken's. Best wishes.
Oh, last U.S. commercial network series to premiere in black and white. Convert to color, but the last to premiere black and white. July 11th, 6 months from my birthday, 1966.
All right. Sorry, I had to mute my microphone so I could finish chewing my cookie there. All right. So, gameplay was relatively simple. Shut up, Eric.
Continue.
Gameplay was relatively simple. Husband and wife pairs. Newlyweds, obviously. Although, again, I question the term newlywed if you've been married almost 2 years. That's bullshit.
Well, I mean,
Brian, switch the mics again.
the honeymoon.
I heard you. I'm
Doing some research.
The honeymoon period of a marriage is typically defined as the first 3 years, so it fits.
Yeah. Husbands are the ones sent to the back for the first round. Or do I have that reversed?
I don't think you have that reversed.
I believe the one episode I did watch, the husbands went to the back in the first round.
Mm-hmm. And then the wives went to the back in the second round.
I thought that damn name was familiar.
Anyways, so
Steve,
one of the spouses
theme to Rock and Roll Jeopardy. Bingo.
All right. One of the spouses is sent to the back and their partner is asked a series of questions. Traditionally 3, some versions it was 4, I believe. And in the final round for the Bob Eubanks version, it was 4 because the 4th question that was asked in the Bob Eubanks version was the 25-point bonus question. So they're given a sample question i.e., favorite perfume, for example. Like if you could pick your favorite perfume, what would it be? Answers must match exactly. That was the 25-point bonus question in the episode that I watched. And then there are other ones where they're given kind of a risque version of a multiple choice as well. For example, for the last time that you and your husband hooked up, it was like a laundry theme there. Would you say that you wish that there was more bouncing, more shouting, or more, what was the other one? The point, you can insert your own euphemism here.
Or you wish that there were more games? Trying to think of some good detergent and laundry product terms. But you get the general gist.
Yes. I really should have had that clip pulled up for you guys, and I apologize for not doing so. As a matter of fact, Eric, why don't you go ahead and filibuster while I see if I can't find that clip real quick.
So, for the main questions, if the couples got the correct answer, if they matched, they had 10 points. And then after
5 in the first round, 10 in the second, 25-point bonus.
Then whoever had the most points at the end, that couple won a very nice grand prize.
Traditionally, a second honeymoon.
They had some very nice trips back in those days.
I mean, or a first honeymoon, depending. I can't hear a damn word you're saying, Jonathan. So
At least they gave away more than on Chuck Barris's other show.
Look, the Screen Actors Guild didn't pay that much back then, okay? But we'll
Still
talk
don't
about
pay that much.
We'll talk about that on a future episode.
all right, I need one of you guys to give me some time here because I got to try to find the clip of one of the episodes of the Newlywed Game so we can pull some clips and show it.
Fuck it. I'll give you a fact from the new version, actually. 2009-2010 season. First same-sex married couples on the show. Episode 2 of that season. George Takei, oh my.
Oh my.
And Brad Altman in a special celebrity edition against Biggest Loser couple Damian Gerganis and Nicole Brewer. And also Christopher Knight and Adrian Curry for My Fair Brady. Takei and Altman won the game, $10,000 for their charity, the Japanese American National Museum. The first non-celebrity same-sex couple, also in the episode's grand prize package, would appear the following season, which coincided with the third season's premiere, June of 2010.
Okay, so you said the GSN version. So this would be the Sherry Shepherd version, correct?
09 to 10.
Might have been Carney Wilson with that version.
Maybe, because I know the first couple of seasons were Sherry and then it switched to Carney, correct? Or was it the other way around?
Looking for hosts.
And all this time, Brian's just sitting back doing
presented 09, Carney Wilson.
Carney first, then Sherry Shepherd.
Okay.
You are technically correct.
The best kind of correct.
I saw some of Sherry Shepherd's version. I wasn't a fan.
I remember watching both of them before. I think I preferred Sherry to Carney, but neither of them touched Eubanks.
I didn't see Carney at all, actually.
And honestly,
I remember.
Like how we talked about with the Match Game 98, this another one which was more recent.
Wait. Did somebody say Match Game 98?
No, or you're at least gonna wait. This is another one of the 90s version with Bob Eubanks where I cut my teeth. Volume warning since he has that shit-eating grin on his face.
Hey, Harry, why don't you take this one?
I wasn't ready. Hold on. I got to get back on. I got to get back to where I'm looking at the camera. Hold on a second.
The burger's been passed.
No, he did pretty good with off air earlier. In the pre-show. I'm going to give him a chance.
And
Eric's just sitting there like utterly confused. Like giving me that "you dirty bastard" look.
I don't know whether to take the headphones off or not.
And your host, Michael Berger.
Like I said, we gotta work on that.
I give it an 8.5.
God, it still stings even with the headphones
it's
off.
Like I give that a solid 7.5.
You got the cadence better this time.
He's got to work. He's got the Michael down perfect. We got to work on the burger.
My
The
God,
problem-
again, the Peruvian judge still being harsh. Jesus.
No, he's got the burger part. Like the second half of it is completely off.
Is it more of a guy than a gur?
Michael Burger.
Whoa, yeah.
So I need
No,
more.
no, I didn't flinch whatsoever, ready to take my headphones off again.
I need more embellishment. On the, so what you're telling me is I need more embellishment on the gur.
Yeah.
Okay. For future knowledge, good to know. All right, I'm going back to looking for that episode of the Newlywed Game. I'll be back.
Woo, did I have something way offside? But since we actually have one particular clip ready, no, not that one, the other one.
Oh, damn! I was about to grab the thing.
I'm about to say this isn't gimmick time just yet. We still got to get everybody.
Infringement is a W2M network exclusive.
But for this particular gimmick infringement, we got to warm everybody up first. Get everybody in a nice, comfortable, willing environment, if you will. So we got to wait a bit. We got to take our time. We have to ease things.
So what you're telling me, Eric, is consent is sexy.
Always.
No, I think what he's telling us is don't blow your load early.
That too. So as we have here, as we mentioned, one of the non-Eubanks versions, straight from the vault of the man himself, Wink Martindale.
1984 for Jim Lang.
Yeah, I can't find the copy that I watched. I think it may have been on Buzzer.
They met when he was at a friend's New Year's Eve party. He later proposed to her exactly 1 year later at the same party. Married only 4 months, Maria and Kelly Murphy. Couple number 2. They might never have gotten together if it hadn't been introduced by his ex-girlfriend, married 8 months ago, Brenda and Chet Capps. Couple number 3. Their eyes met while they were across the hall from each other in different classrooms, and they fell in love instantly. But it took them 4 years to realize it. Married 7 months, Lydia and Mike Johnson. Couple number 4. He loves to watch her over your shoulder when she cooks, but she says that he's totally useless in the kitchen. They're married 4 months ago, Lisa and John Engen. Those are our newlyweds for today, and here's your host, the star of the new Newlywed Game, Jim Lang.
Thank you, Roddy.
So is this the unsold pilot?
Apparently the pilot got sold.
You know, it was author George Bernard Shaw who wrote that.
Well, yeah, because this is on GSN. So
The maximum of temptation.
Apparently, they aired the pilot. The pilot was a
Okay.
podcast-ready pilot.
Find out how much they really know about each other, and that'll come up right after this message.
If this is even the pilot, I mean, technically, it.
I don't know. I think Jim Lang is better when there's a tune that needs to be named at $100,000 on the line.
And something golden at the end as well, yes.
a medley of sorts.
Yes. Sorry, I see Jim Lang hosted a game show. That's just what pops to mind.
You're not wrong. You are not entirely wrong.
What else did Lang do? Now I'm curious.
I got to be honest with you guys. There's not a whole lot to this game show. There's
Well,
that was
Wait,
the other one. The
wait.
dating game is where Lang started. That makes sense.
wait. Let me explain what I mean by that. Yeah, the obvious sex jokes and stuff, and you get plenty of them throughout the course of the show. One in particular we will be discussing and probably laughing our immature asses off here in a few moments.
Okay, all right. We're beating around the bush so much now, it's going to lose its luster.
Beating around.
You know when you go for too long, and then it's just like you overshot the landing.
Well, it's all about working on your stamina, man.
thank you. Thank you. Stamina is appreciated. I mean, besides, not everything is a game show marathon around these parts. I legit amaze myself sometimes.
The point being, it's a very basic concept with a very basic gameplay. There's not really a whole lot to this show to discuss.
Which is why I say roll the clip.
And roll clip.
Well, you got your particular gimmick since you want me to roll that clip now, don't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All this time, Mr. Lean into the camera.
I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you gotta roll the clip first and it's after the clip. I don't know. Roll the fucking clip.
Let me do my best, Len Berman, and we'll go to the videotape.
The year was 1977. I posed a question to a young couple, and no one expected the answer would become an urban legend. Most say it never happened. And honestly, I didn't think it happened either. But it did happen. And finally, once and for all, here it is.
Number 1.
Last of our 5-point questions. Girls, tell me where specifically is the weirdest place that you personally, girls, have ever gotten the urge to make whoopee?
Or in other terms, where specifically?
You ruined the clip! You talk about me talking dirt clips, and you just freaking did it. You blew the whole thing. Rewind the clip.
The weirdest place. Yeah.
It does need a rewind, Eric.
Well, I mean, granted. The
Because
fact.
Brian blew the load too early.
Well,
The
I
only
mean,
good part of that clip is Eubanks asking a question. Let's be honest here.
not to mention, this was the censored version. If we
There
could
was
go
a
back.
censored bleep there, sir. I
Oh.
disagree.
Exactly. So if you really want the full luster of the clip, we would have to get it uncensored.
I can't find that. Sorry.
Hold on.
Regardless, John Nielsen is not pleased.
Yeah, you're setting up another clip that isn't there yet.
You don't have that one loaded yet.
Again, picture, not video, does not cooperate unless StreamYard dictates otherwise.
Now, to summarize what Eubanks said, he wanted to know specifically. I have to point out the specifically part. Where was the strangest place that the woman wanted an oatmeal cream pie? Wait, did you steal my gimmick over there?
Gimmick infringement is a W2M network exclusive.
Well, I got the originals. My gimmick is better.
Ahem. Because some people are just lazy in that regard.
Girls, tell me where specifically is the
I found it too,
weirdest
Eric.
place that you personally,
I'm gonna
girls,
enjoy my
have ever
oatmeal
gotten the
cream
urge
pie.
to
Fuck
make
you.
whoopee. The weirdest place, Olga? Yes, Olga.
In the ass?
No.
Eric, I appreciate the fact that your YouTube search is still on the screen.
Well, hey, it's the fact that since you couldn't have necessarily a video, well, the video by itself isolated properly. Plus, who said it was my YouTube channel? Send any hate mail about specific network YouTube algorithms to s.garmer@gmail.com. No, I wasn't planning for a monkey with that one.
Insert plug about taking podcasts in an oral fashion?
Well,
Let's-
look, if you
let's
really
maybe-
want to...
Wait, no,
I
no,
mean, you're
Eric,
talking about making
Eric,
whoopee.
no,
You know
no,
what? I was
stop.
trying to give him the point. I give him one run.
No. You know what? First of all,
That was a decent try of the setup. I give him one run.
first
Hey,
of
beats
all,
a dot ball.
First of all, we're not talking about using plugs with the in the ass clip. That's first and foremost.
See, now you got a 2-run partnership going. All right, let's see where this goes.
Because that alone, Harry, that would get you a wicket.
A sticky wicket at that.
Oh my.
My goodness, a partnership. Oh, no. This is about a 6-run partnership right now. Only facing a couple of balls. Let's see what they do against these balls.
You really want to talk about facing a couple of balls with this kind of conversation?
I set you up! And you hit it! Yes!
And as usual, Watkins with the banana cream pie.
Because it's better than oatmeal and you can make them faster, but I digress.
Fun fact to get us somewhat back on topic.
Good luck with that.
There's no getting back on topic. We
Bob
went off
Eubanks,
the
sir.
rails.
You know how bad this year has sucked? Despite all that, we still have Bob Eubanks. He's 84. And if Toby was listening, shout out to our resident heckler who is not Rancid Randy. Born in Flint, Michigan.
So, a friendly reminder:
Don't
have your
drink
rinse
the
and
water.
rabies spayed and neutered.
Sorry, I talked over your joke with one of my own. Go ahead.
I said friendly reminder to have your Rants and Randy's spayed and neutered.
Yeah, more on that bracket ball buster a little bit later on in this episode.
Jim Lang sadly left us in 2014 due to a heart attack.
Sherry Shepard still alive. Carney Wilson alive, I think.
Yeah, the rest of the hosts are modern enough where I would presume so. Rodriguez, yes. Born January 1955.
All right, so real question for you guys here. Now, I actually do have a question, Eric, so go ahead and give me my little bumper.
All right.
Kroger, born in 57.
As soon as somebody gets done
68.
on his host
Shepard,
high horse.
Yep.
Okay. Quick question for you guys here, because like I said, there isn't a whole lot to talk about for this particular game show, just because the format was very straightforward. It didn't vary between versions of the show much, if at all.
Sort of beat the clockish in that aspect. Yep.
Brian, outside of the urban legend of the in the ass clip, is there anything about this show that stood out to you?
Are we when you say the in the ass clip? Are you specifically saying the in the ass clip, or am I allowed to talk about the various double entendres that were made on this show?
You're allowed to talk about the entendres, yes.
Okay,
and you can make them a double.
Pretty much, this show pushed the absolute daytime censorship boundary for the 70s and 80s.
No shit, it's a Chuck Barris show. That's what the man does.
I mean, Dating Game, the original Dating Game in the 70s.
Gong Show? Fucking Gong Show?
All right. And here's Espinoza. Oh, tried for the off spin, was a little bit too high.
He was. You could say he was
No,
wide right.
I was going to say that was wide right. That was way wide right.
Sorry,
All right.
Harry. Sorry.
Wide. Ball. 1 run to Nielsen. Ball must be rebowled.
Re-ball the ball, okay.
He caught that. Cut out.
Jonathan, any specific memories of this particular game show? In case you can't tell, folks, we're looking for filler at this point because there's not much here.
Because
There were
somebody insists on having an
actually-
hour-long podcast.
There
You
were
don't need to have an hour-long podcast. You want to know about the
That's fine.
Newlywed Game? Here it is, plain and simple. Here's the TLDR. Bob Eubanks.
Can we get one simultaneous from the two of you?
1, 2, 3.
And we'll be back with more stuff.
See, if that was on the cube, that would not have counted.
Okay.
It would not have.
You want to know about the Newlywed Game? Plain and simple. Bob Eubanks in the ass. Strangest place you've had the urge to make whoopee. Newlyweds who weren't really newlyweds because some of them, as Harry pointed out in the pre-show, 22 months married. What the fuck is that?
Again, they had a 2-year limit. If they'd have changed the limit, it would have been a different story.
I'm saying anything more than a year. Anything more than a year, and you're not newlyweds. Go ahead, Brian.
It was basically a matchup game, right? You had to guess what your partner was going to say. It was the same fucking shit that
Tattletales did this better.
Oh my God, it was match game without the entertainment. Wow, that sucked, Brian. It was
short.
No ball.
It was match game without the entertaining celebrities.
In essence, yeah. Now, John, I believe you were saying something.
There were 2 specials that are worth at least cursory mention.
Go ahead.
April 1998, Newlywed Game, a silver anniversary of Love and Laughter on GSN, hosted by original host Bob Eubanks, and announced and not credited, shame on you, GSN, to Gene Wood. 60s, 70s, 80s highlight reel. October 2018, episode of the series Cover Story on Game Show Network. So, Cover Story, the Newlywed Game, most outrageous answers. Hosted by Trish Shore, S-U-H-R. Hopefully pronounced that right. Another friggin' clip show. This show was a one-trick pony that couldn't get off its damn high horse. Not a fan.
Eric, you're the one who suggested this.
Well, I mean, obviously, I suggested it for that clip, but there were a lot of funny moments along those double entendre lines. But if you also think about it for all of the divorces that Tattletales caused during its run, Newlywed Game pretty much had some similar moments during its run.
I was about to say one of the things that I do specifically remember about this show was the teaser that they air for it on Buzzer. It's a clip of Bob Eubanks saying, "What are you?" One of the contestants says to Bob, "What are you trying to do to me, Bob?" And Bob's response is, "I'm not trying to be a witness in your divorce proceedings."
Jerry.
That's a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, mine's next week, but we'll get to that in a few moments here. Let's go ahead and finish up with the Newlywed Game. All right, I've got another question.
Hold on. I'm going to get back. Let me finish up here.
Delay that question for now. Oh.
Yeah, that is appropriate.
There's international versions here, just so you all know.
What's that all about, eh? He's ready. He's ready to catch it.
He's going with the arm spin. Maybe a little pace. Oh,
actually,
nope, he holds up.
Harry, wide left.
That hit the window. That's got to count for something.
Nope, that's a wide. Now, if it had hit part of his body, then it would have been a bye.
And Harry, I actually have to give you an X because there's no Canadian version.
Aw, disappointing.
Anyways, final time, right? So you want to know what's so damn special about this show? Like we're sitting here like, why Newlywed Game, right? Think about it. I can't ask you guys because y'all don't count. I'm sorry. Y'all are not the average American when for purposes of this.
Hosting a show like this? No, we're not.
What? Us average anything? What are you talking about?
I mean, I've never had any complaints.
Well, neither have I, but then again, there are those times where I've had complaints of a different variety. Like, oh my God, get that thing away from me, or it's not going to fit. But that's more for point of viewer now, isn't it?
The views and opinions of Eric Watkins do not necessarily reflect the rest of the... Oh, shit. Never mind.
Remember, folks, you can direct your hate mail about this not being the family show to s.garmer@gmail.com. Anyways, because I apparently can get interrupted as much as Nielsen does. Except I'm not an asshole and I don't count.
I only counted because it started off air. Please proceed.
You ask any average American that doesn't have an in-depth in some cases encyclopedic knowledge of game shows. Name a dating game show, right? Like name a game show in the dating subgenre. I guarantee you, I'm gonna say 6, maybe 7 out of 10 Americans are going to name the Newlywed Game.
Speaking of Bob Eubanks, Eric, would you say higher or lower than that number?
I would if we're doing this now, especially with the reboot of the dating game.
Yes, I swerved it into Card Sharks.
Uh-oh.
I'll be right back, folks.
Why you little son of a bitch?
Domestic violence, however, is not.
You can direct your hate mail to s.garber@gmail.com. Thankfully, there's no red lights around me this time.
Open up in about 30 seconds, buddy.
You got 4.
Eddie,
Get back up, come back over there and chokehold you again.
There's no proof it was not on camera.
I would just like to state for the record that domestic violence is not a W2M network exclusive, nor should it be.
Wait a minute, then it should be. You're encouraging others to have domestic violence?
What?
I mean, that's what you're saying, Harry.
Only in a consensual and agreed upon situation with safe words.
Safe, state, and consensual. Go ahead, Brian.
This show has name power. It has staying power. It was a huge part of American culture in the Eubanks era when it ran, right? Mostly because of the fact that they had some damn good writers who knew exactly how to fool the censors, but still make sure that America knew exactly what the hell it was they were trying to say.
All right. Jonathan, to answer your question, it depends on if we're going with a 6 or a 7 to that. At 7, I would say he's probably about right. The question to that would be, what do we classify as a dating game show? Because this kind of takes us back to the greatest game show of all time tournament.
Hey, you know what? We have a non-academic credible resource
technically
who has actually classified that for us.
Technically speaking, there are those that would consider The Bachelor a dating game show. There are those that would consider Joe Millionaire a dating game show. The Bachelorette a dating game show.
Wikipedia counts them. So I mean, I personally would not want to count them. I think they fall more into reality rather
I agree.
than game show.
But in the 60s, you didn't really have that genre of show.
Those kind of designations weren't necessarily viable at the time because of the lack of information about them and or the lack of content related to them.
And the lack of variety of shows in that era because you were still limited by the big 3. Especially in 66, we're still talking
not
black
just
and white.
not necessarily the big 3, maybe like 4 or 5, one could argue.
No, it was 3 networks.
So here's the thing.
Dumont was gone by that point, sir.
Yeah,
okay.
ABC, NBC, CBS, that was it.
Okay.
If Wikipedia is counting it, then it counts because Wikipedia is using the same classification that the Nielsen rating service does.
No relation.
Which, are the people that determine genres of genres of television programs and ratings and
though 2 of us here do know somebody who worked at one point for Nielsen ratings. Eric, you remember a certain collegiate colleague, Luann?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she got hired by Nielsen. Master of Statistics from our common alma mater.
All right, y'all can reminisce off air. My point I've been trying to make for a few minutes now. I understand we're trying to pad with nonsense, but this isn't League to the Max or whatever, or Point of Viewer.
Again.
I've got a point after this, too, so we've actually got some talking to do still.
The Newlywed Game had staying power, right? Or it had name power. Households were talking about it, right? Like it was something that would be talked about at the salon because that's what people did back then. We didn't have Facebook or Instagram or the internet, for that matter. The show knew what it was doing. It was very successful at it, even if you disagree with the basicness of the format. Because let's be completely honest with you. Eubanks made that show, right?
Absolutely.
That show also made Eubanks.
I mean, yeah, sure. The show also made Eubanks. I mean, there's plenty of dumb wife contestants. There's obviously, Strangest Place to Make Whoopee. I mean, the show, if you tried to put the show into today, right? I think it completely falls flat on its face. I don't even think it makes it full through season. Simply because
I see a look on Jonathan's face that says he might have something to that effect.
He has an idea.
I found a fact that is very interesting.
Okay, we'll save it for your final thought. I'm tired of getting interrupted.
Go ahead, continue.
If you take Newlywed now and put it into 2022, it falls flat on its face, right? Because the format doesn't fit with the popular culture of today, because that's sex innuendo is something that's already plastered all over modern programming. A game show dedicated to beating the censors on saying, where's the strangest place you had the urge to fuck? I mean,
the show has not aged well.
No.
Yeah, the show has not aged well at all.
See, I disagree. I think the show.
Okay, no. The show has aged great. The format has not aged for
that. I agree with.
It's like. Have you ever watched?
I think that's. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think that's why the Sherry Simpson or whatever the Sherry
Shepherd.
Thank you. I don't know why I had Simpson stuck in my head. The Sherry Shepherd version just fell flat.
No. See, I actually think the Sherry Shepherd version worked out pretty well with the modernized spin on it. With the, you got to remember that GSN is catering towards a niche market with their revivals of some of these shows there. So they're catering to the casual game show enthusiast that's going to watch this just based solely on the fact that it's the Newlywed Game.
Can I sum this up?
I have to respectfully disagree. GSN, if you take a look at their original programming, through the entirety of GSN, like we'll go all the way back to like the early 2000s, because that's when they really dug into the originals. I don't think they had anything in the 90s when they were first starting out. Except for their like Peter to Mark and Cohen specials.
99-ish going into 2000, that's when Inquisition started, which was a Game Show Network original.
Game Show Network originals.
I'm Googling it now.
To two audiences, right? And it was in two audiences. They had two demographics, right? And when they made a show, they picked one, and that's what they went for. They didn't try to cater to both. Some of them managed to cater to both and did a damn good job of it. But generally speaking, GSN Originals did one of two things. They went after the diehards like us. They went after the people who were like, I want a fucking faithful to the minute, minuscule sound cue recreation.
A loyal friend and true.
Yeah. Like, there's that demographic in that show, right? On the opposite hand, there are GSN originals that catered to the broad, general American viewer. Newlywed Game, in their recreation, blah, blah, blah.
Recreation.
Yeah, thank you. In their recreation of the Newlywed Game, they went after option B. They weren't going after option A. Because they knew if they went after option A, it was going to fall flat on its face and not even last a season.
And if they did be well enough, just the nature of the show itself, the diehards would come in.
Yeah, I would imagine. But that's kind of what I was saying about the Sherry Shepherd thing, though, is I think Sherry did a fine enough job as the host of the show, because I believe Carney Wilson was only the host for one season, and then Sherry Shepherd took over for the other three.
I'm not saying Sherry Shepherd did a bad job. I did watch Sherry Shepherd.
Carney was one season. That is correct.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just saying the format, even at that point, right? And that's what John, what was the year, the first season?
09.
2009 to 2013.
Yeah. So even in 09, that format's already like
antiquated.
It's sagging. Since we're going with non.
The show's almost 50 years old by that point.
They're not perky anymore. Is what I'm saying.
You're stealing line from Match Game? Well played.
Don't knock the non-perky ones.
I'm about to say sagging ones do have benefits as well. However, I think I can sum that up before John gets to his point in something like this. The only way it would continue to work right now is if it would be one of those shows that would be put on a streaming service such as Netflix. You turn it up a little bit more.
Yeah, I have.
You mean like a raunchier version of the Newlywed Game?
Essentially,
take it to 11.
You need to like, not even 11. You need to take that to like 13.
I have an idea.
I'll one up your reference.
Like, I'll be honest with you. You need like. Actually, no. I got the perfect.
You need to put a TVX in that upper left corner if you're going to do it that way.
I was just
about. I got the perfect reference for this that anybody should understand. Right. You need this on late night Cinemax.
I was just, you know what my suggestion was just about to be? I was just going to say, what would be the perfect place to revamp this show with a modernized explicit spin? Playboy TV.
That's the equivalent.
I guess that's the modern equivalent, yeah.
Yeah, because unfortunately,
Eric, there's congruence there.
Well, Bianca, I completely agree. This theorem is definitely proven because, yes, the Skinamax of old, where I cut my teeth in a lot of formative years of my life, sometimes too many formative and way too early.
The years of the mysterious black cable box, yes.
Point of view or the rest.
Now,
I'm going to start saying that now.
Now, the point that I was going to make there, as all that conversation is going on, this sort of fits in before I get to the strange fact. Have you ever watched the series on YouTube, Hot Ones?
Yes.
With the hot sauces and
the chicken wing eating one, yes.
Chicken wing and the hot sauce and the interview and all that.
Yeah, and they turned it into a game show on TBS.
The first time you see somebody eat the wing that has the bomb on it, it's new, it's innovative, you don't know what's going to come, and that reaction is priceless. When you get to season 18, you see hot sauce number 8, the bomb, you know what you're going to get. That's how Newlywed Game is aged, in my opinion.
That's a pretty damn good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one
That's
of
why
those.
I can't stand it. I know what I'm going to get. So why should I even watch it? Because I know exactly what's going to happen.
I can summarize that even better, right?
Insert what really grinds my gears up here on the Gator banner.
I'll summarize this even better thanks to the non-credible academic resource.
Oh,
And I quote a line in the second fucking paragraph of the article.
wait, and you quote, are you the anonymous Raw general manager? Anyway, more on that in wrestling podcasts.
Many of the Newlyweds games dealt with, quote, making whoopee, the euphemism that producers used for sexual intercourse to circumvent network censorship. However, it became such a catchphrase of the show.
How much of a catchphrase did it become? Sorry.
That its original host, Bob Eubanks, continued to use the phrase, throughout the show's many runs, even in the 80s and 90s, episodes and beyond, when he could have easily said make love or have sex during these periods without censorship.
Stay classy, Bob Eubanks. Stay classy.
That tells you everything you need to know, and especially of the importance of it to the show. That it's it's the
trope of the show.
It's effectively the first paragraph in the Newlywed Game Wikipedia article, because that first paragraph is just a lead-in sentence to the article.
Speaking of which, the broadcast history, and this is part of the reason I think why the show really took off. Because at 2 p.m., yes, this captured your happy housewife. This group here is not the demographic this show was intended to capture.
Most dating shows demographics are targeted toward the 18 to 34 single or married woman.
Now, this is all happy housewife.
Soap opera watchers.
Yeah. So on the day the show debuted, and mind you, this was on ABC. Meanwhile, on CBS, Password got preempted by a newscast by at the time, Defense Secretary Robert McNamara. That news conference was delayed by half an hour, and the network just threw on a vamping hold screen until he was ready to speak.
That's not what vamping is, you idiot.
Whatever. They stalled.
Vamping is exactly that. It's the shit that you do when you say we need an hour-long show, and we ain't at the hour mark yet.
And we still ain't there.
Yeah, because we're 58 and a half minutes, and you're going to vamp for 2 more so we can hit the hour mark. That's what the hell vamping means.
We're going to hit the hour mark in the sign-off anyway, so I don't know why we're wasting the time with this conversation.
ABC opted to wait until just as the press conference began, so Newlywed got a head start in the head-to-head ratings war with Password. And eventually led to 14 months later, Password getting the axe. This is the show that took down Al Ludden's juggernaut. NBC, however, went into the soaps with Days of Our Lives and captured the Happy Housewife audience, which led to this show's demise in 1974.
Read the next sentence. Read the next fucking sentence, or do I need to? It was the longest running game show in
ABC history until Feud surpassed it in 1985, having run 9 years at the time of its cancellation a year later.
Again, you're not writing home to mama or putting a review in TV Guide, because, that was a thing back then.
It was.
Anyway, Harry, if we were going to lose you, Harry, we'd be in Three's a Crowd moment.
Damn it, Nielsen.
I heard that X.
I didn't even.
Oh, that's myself.
Because you interrupted me. You're not, like I said before, you were not writing home about the format of this show. You were writing home about the jokes on this show.
I actually have a response to that here. If you don't mind, Mr. Watkins, fool. So I said earlier that I thought that the version of the show that we're discussing here, the Newlywed Game in general, really, the format's bland. It's very basic. But so there is a statement in pro wrestling that Jonathan kind of touched on earlier in regards to wrestling with the man doesn't make the title makes the man. In this particular instance, the format doesn't make the show, the man makes the show. Newlywed Game doesn't get anywhere near the popularity that it does without Bob Eubanks. It also launches Eubanks' career as a game show host going forward as well. Notably, you will notice that each of the follow-up versions of the Newlywed Game either attempted to cash in on a previous game show host popularity or somebody that had relevance at the time of the reboot. I think Carney Wilson had just been recently in the air in the news for the Weight Watchers thing. If I'm not mistaken, this was right around the time that she was like a national spokeswoman for Weight Watchers. And Sherry Shepard was gaining traction as one of the hosts on ABC's The View at this time when she became the host on GSN. So it was an opportunity to get some mainstream publicity through The View, as well as to have Carney Wilson's name out there when Carney was the host of the show. Obviously, Carney Wilson and Sherry Shepard don't have the name brand power that Bob Eubanks had. If this show were to come back here, and you can go ahead and bring everybody back in here because this is my final question. Who do you think would be a suitable host for this show in the modern era? Because the obvious one is going to smack you right in the face.
I got one, and I'm going way the fuck left field on this. And it's the first name that popped up in my head, and I think it makes perfect sense, actually.
I have two that popped into my head immediately, both from the same genre.
Mine isn't a current game show host.
Okay. Both of mine are former game show hosts.
I've got two ones hosting a show.
I've got one in particular that superseded my other two. Not a game show host, but damn relevant.
The two that I would choose that I think would be the perfect host for a modern version of the show is you steer into the risque nature of the show. You steer into the almost what Brian and Jonathan were talking about earlier with regards to having to crank the volume on the show all the way up to that next level. Jerry Springer or Maury Povich?
I got one better.
That and I changed my mind.
Jerry. More on Jerry in 2 weeks.
Eric, who you got?
Capturing a much broader demographic, and you talk about relevance. And a lot of the particular popular genre we have today, someone who does not host game shows, but this man is talked about anytime there's a lot of serious shit going on with shows in the reality genre and has been in the news and gained even more popularity because of his urge to start shit. Andy Cohen.
Are you referring to his whole drunken tirade thing from New Year's Eve?
No. Even before the drunken tirade on New Year's Eve, he got the New Year's Eve job because of his hosting of shows on Bravo, like Watch What Happens Live, and those reality diehards, all of the Real Housewives reunions. That also led to him getting his own satellite radio channel, Radio Andy.
And you could make the argument that with his background in trash TV, with the Real Housewives and everything, that it would classify towards that risque nature that you're looking to take the Newlywed Game in.
You got your risque nature, your TV, plus for those who watch things like E-Entertainment during the day right now, name power.
Jonathan.
I'm going to throw one at you that you're not going to see coming. Fanny Flagg.
Isn't she a bit old?
But I'm thinking like a Fanny Flagg or a J.P. Morgan kind of personality would work. At first, I was thinking maybe get one of those people that has hosted The View, and then you can go back towards your Happy Housewife demographic.
Can I remind
The other
you
idea that
they-
came to mind.
I'd like to remind you they did that already.
with Sherry Shepherd.
Sherry Shepherd was a host on The View. If I remember correctly, she actually left The View.
Yep.
My idea was so great it was actually used. The other option would be Greg Ferguson. The man's been divorced so long.
Yeah, but Fergie's already
he could do it.
Fergie's already got a game show that he's doing with the
with the Hustler.
The Hustler.
What can't do those doors?
All right, Brian, who you got?
So mine's is like totally left field here, right? Now I'm gonna set this up a little bit here. As we know, Eubanks left, right? And comedian took over. Comedian Paul Rodriguez. I'm thinking, right? And when you said this is the first thing that came to my mind. I pulled this up a little bit real quick and I did some research. Why not get somebody with the comedy influence of Paul Rodriguez, right?
Okay.
Which kind of gives Paul Rodriguez, in a way, a chance to redeem himself. Because he kind of bombed.
Oh, I got another name.
Gabriel Iglesias.
Fluffy?
More specifically, pull a, celebrity dating game, is it right now, that's got Zoe Deschanel and Michael Bolton?
Mm-hmm.
Get his
they
buddy
basically turned it
Martin
into
Moreno.
I could one up that. Sarah Silverman.
No. Don't steal my idea. I didn't bandwagon into your idea. I just pointed out.
Sorry, your idea just popped that name in my head.
Get Gabriel Iglesias and Martin Moreno.
Martin.
Gabriel Iglesias would be perfect for it. Think about it. The man knows how to do a sexual innuendo joke, be absolutely hilarious, but still be clean. That is the entire comedy backbone styling of
I don't hate it.
I don't.
Silverman wouldn't be clean. That's the difference.
And then here's the point, though.
And you have Martin Moreno there in case you need to not be so squeaky clean.
But this is my point, though. Now you're kind of circling back to, if you have it, even with those two, are you really taking it up to 13 like you said needs to happen?
I think you are, yeah.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so either.
I think he's the new Bob Eubanks.
But that's
just
just
the Bob Eubanks form.
Okay, but
Right?
But here's the rub, though. We just said, as it worked, and I'm pretty sure you all agreed with me. Feel free to correct me if you didn't. It would work now on a streaming service more like Netflix.
Yeah.
Would it not?
Yeah. Gabriel Iglesias has already done six
I know he's
specials.
I
and
know
his
he's
sitcom.
I know he's
season sitcom for.
I know he's done Netflix content, but my point is this, right? Look at shows like Sexy Beasts. That's the kind of stuff in that genre on Netflix and things that's gaining traction more right now. You gotta go, just like the Fox show about chefs, next level. That only takes you to a certain point. That wasn't for the monkey because I know nobody watches Next Level Chef but me.
Somewhat. Monkey denied regardless, though.
That's that new Gordon Ramsay thing, right?
Yes.
I haven't watched it yet. I like Gordon Ramsay. I haven't watched it yet. See, I'll give anything with Gordon Ramsay at least one episode. That's my prerogative.
You realize this chicken is so raw, it airs on USA on Mondays.
So
no monkey, but that was good.
So here I see.
But Well, here's the thing, right? Okay, so we're talking. You guys, I think.
Iglesias goes on Fox, not on stream.
Thank you. Yes. For the love of God, yes.
Yeah, Iglesias. I think if you were trying to bring it back as a almost like a Summer of Fun and Games on ABC or what have you, then somebody like Iglesias would work.
Fox, along with things like Masked Singer, I Can See Your Voice, Alter Ego, Fox Alternative Entertainment, that would be a perfect
Part of me wants to see it Fox because Fox fucks up game shows and it would get axed.
No.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, to all of you. Shame on you all.
I agree with the point that Eric is making here, though. I don't think that Iglesias.
Let me
okay,
get
we had the point of viewer. Time for a counterpoint.
You guys. The next motherfucker who interrupts me is getting shot.
I didn't do this to you. You did this to me. But please continue.
What do you know? We hit the hour mark and then some.
At least viewer understood that reference. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Fuck your couch!
Sorry, I had to. I make the Dave Chappelle show reference.
Hey, the man does have a couch in the background, so it's actually legit.
It's a chair.
No, this is a
That's
couch.
a couch.
That's his couch.
Oh, Eric's couch.
That is his couch.
I thought you meant.
Okay, so a few minutes ago, we were talking about cranking it up to the next level, right?
Yes.
Cranking it up to like a 13 or something, you're looking for shock value. Like just pure, unadulterated shock value.
Hence
right?
Andy Cohen. Yes.
If we dial it back to the 11 that you were saying earlier at first, Eric.
Oh, sorry.
I think Gabriel Iglesias fits that bill absolutely perfectly.
I don't agree.
I agree.
You're not going. You're not going to get shock value out of Fluffy. That's not his stick. But if you put him in as the host of a Eubanks original formatted Newlywed Game,
he will steer that boat to laughs.
Yes, he will steer that boat to laughs. You won't get the shock value, but you will get a damn good, successful show.
And that's why I say that would be great on Fox. And you can do some of the stuff that you're saying on Fox.
I don't think. Okay. Yes, it can work on terrestrial television, but the problem with putting it on a terrestrial network, right? You still have censorship, right? You still have censors to deal with. You can't drop the F-bomb.
Goodness knows, Craig Ferguson tried on CBS.
You need to be able to drop the F-bomb, right? Like Fluffy needs to be able to drop the F-bomb on this. You have to put this on streaming. Yes, it will work. It will work on a terrestrial network, but you're not going to get that 11.
No, but
maybe
this
you
is
get a 9 or 10.
No, but this is.
But if you put it on streaming, hold on. If you put it on streaming, yes, you will get that 11. You may even get the 12, right? You may even get the 12. You're not going to get the shock value 13 out of it. But
Fluffy will give you a 9.5 on terrestrial TV.
Thank you. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make. You're doing him.
But a 9.5 will still knock it out of the park.
Yes.
But I feel like you're doing him a disservice if you put him on terrestrial network.
I'm not doing him a disservice by putting him on a terrestrial network. God knows. And the reason why I say Fox in particular, you don't even have the Disney level of overreach from ABC. You don't have the Rockefeller Center stuff from ABC or even CBS. Fox
Isn't Fox owned by Disney now too?
Parts of it, but not for the Fox terrestrial network. The more 21st century, the movie and stuff industry, that's owned by Disney. What I'm talking about and why I specifically mentioned Fox Alternative Entertainment, that's where they've been going with more of their original content and their game show-like stuff that they would be doing. Yes, you wouldn't entirely get an 11. But I'm sorry. I've known Gabriel Iglesias, his material and everything. You really want that shock value when you're talking about stuff on streaming. That's why I say Andy Cohen would be perfect on Netflix.
And this is why I partner him with Martin Moreno.
But even
because
still,
Martin Moreno will give you that shock value.
But
Martin Moreno cannot carry that on his own.
But the two hosts,
he's a very talented comedian, but he won't carry it on his own.
The two-host gimmick would not necessarily particularly work for the Newlywed Game. Not necessarily.
A host announcer thing. I mean,
okay. I don't know. I'm sorry. I want to see it desperately, but for this, I'm putting it together in my mind, fitting all the pieces together, looking at the code like the Matrix. It ain't adding up. The architect is saying, "Fuck this. It's not going to work."
If I may,
please.
All right. So I had a chance to think about my question.
I think we've hit a raw nerve now. So
we've hit the actual debate topic of the show. Finally, it just took us an hour to get there.
We found, yeah. I mean, apparently, I've got a question steered us in the right direction. Anyways,
thank you, Harry. Voice of reason. Finally,
I do what I can. Anyways, so I'm actually sitting here thinking about the question that I asked, and we were talking about the fact that you would need shock value. You would need somebody that has the je ne sais quoi in order to pull something like that off.
Le panache.
And if I may send out an in memoriam mention.
I'm gonna caveat for a second here. Right?
Whoa, hold on.
I want to back up.
Sorry,
2 seconds.
Harry said 2 words at the end there. In memoriam.
If I may throw out an in memoriam mention here, you know who would have been perfect for this kind of reboot? Bob Saget.
Saget or Louis?
Saget would have been better.
Saget, because he has that background of, first of all, of doing the family TV shows and then the absolutely filthy stand-up. So you get that meeting of the two worlds.
But Louis also got some filthy shit too.
He
I was
does
gonna say the man played a fucking woman and won an Emmy for it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. And
Baskets.
Baskets was fucking hilarious, but for something like this,
I can't remember the name of the fucking show for a moment.
You could go the win with either of the two, though. I do.
You could. I would personally lean more towards Saget, however.
And it just crossed my mind.
That's just a different of the age of this group assembled right now.
And the only reason that I think Saget is because of the fact that he has that whole America's Dad thing from Full House. And then anybody that's actually seen his stand-up comedy and the one movie where marijuana's not an...
Have you seen classic AHFD? America's Funniest Home Videos.
Some of it crosses that line.
He's gotten a couple of good innuendos in past.
Some of it crosses that line, absolutely. So you have that, as I was saying, you have that difference of the Saget of Full House and the more commercially accepted America's Funniest Home Videos Saget. And then you have the marijuana's not a drug. I've sucked dick for cocaine. Have you ever sucked dick for marijuana?
The exact line was cock, but it's still forgivable. Rest in peace, Bob.
The point being is there's that counterbalance there, that wholesome family dad, that absolutely filthy stand-up performer that would be able to tread that line. That would have been able to tread that line. Rest in peace.
And it could work both ends of the spectrum.
You
absolutely.
Could. And honestly, and I say that even more because of that greater recognition from Bob Saget than Louis Anderson. Both could work, but Saget's more well known, even with everything. So
can you tell your Google to shut up, John?
Somebody's Alexa is giving them shit.
That's your Google
No, that's
Home,
not
mine.
That's coming from your bedroom, not mine.
Okay, Google, that's enough.
Great, you just set off mine now. I hope you're happy. All right,
that's enough. But you turn it off.
All right, go ahead and pull the band.
But I said Sarah Silverman just because she'll fucking go there.
Silverman is.
I would argue that Silverman doesn't have the name recognition needed.
Not anymore.
Not the name recognition, no, but she's got skills to do it.
No, I disagree. I actually disagree. Silverman will be like, oh, you need shock value. She'll go to over 9,000.
Yeah, she'll have 13. Just depends how you define a 13.
She'll go to 13,000 rather than just 13.
Yeah, not
And
to
it'll
mention,
be like so over the unnecessary top that it will be straight up crazy.
Is she still dating Kimmel?
I thought they already broke up.
Well, I would argue that Kimmel would be a better choice than Silverman.
Kimmel 2002 to 2009. I'm looking at the course.
I know they still do a lot of work together through like his show and stuff. So I didn't know.
Hell, if you're matching up Kimmel, I would rather have Kimmel with Adam Carolla than.
She's now with Rory Albanese.
I have no idea who the fuck that is.
Former showrunner of The Daily Show.
Anyways.
And Michael Sheen in between those two.
All right, so back to getting back on topic here after the debate there. We finally found something worth talking about here. To summarize in general, though, like we were saying here, you know what you're getting with this show. It's not gonna reinvent the wheel, as it were. It's good.
Definitely not wrong about that.
It's good for 22 minutes if you need something on as background noise. This isn't going to be any kind of a trendsetter. This isn't going to be any kind of a mark maker, but it does have historical value to even the casual fan, and so says TV Guide, Mr. Nielsen.
Yes, they did rank this number 10 in 2013 in their top 60 greatest game shows ever. And I think what really came out of this show, two things. One, clips for days on the clip shows, and it started so many careers, including hosts, but also directors, writers, etc.
Go ahead, Harry, first.
The Newlywed Game very much became a veritable who's who of hosts and now
game show history. Yeah, that's just what I was about to say. Exactly right, Brian. Go ahead, Eric.
Backstage folks, you name it.
Because what I was going to just simply say is this, and to quote one of my favorite sports show hosts, he said this a while ago and it sticks. It's like with the restaurants. If you try something overly new, pan-Asian fusion or whatever, the gastropubs or the latest trend, you'll be open for a while and then you're closed. You give people something like Italian food, you can go 30 years. Newlywed Game is like Italian food.
Or American Comfort. Absolutely. It's a comfort restaurant. Exactly. 100%.
It's a comfort show.
It's Americana.
Exactly. No,
that's exactly what it is. It's Americana.
Completely agree. You have been listening to Life is Like a Game Show, the Newlywed Game, a presentation of the W2M Network, online at W2Mnet.com. In addition, you can find us on all of your favorite game show listening, on all of your favorite podcast listening services as well.
I mean, game show listening, yeah, you probably could find.
I usually watch them nowadays.
I'm sure there are podcast game shows. I would imagine that's definitely a thing that exists.
Wait for our filler weeks, folks.
Fun fact, actually, Topanga from Boy Meets World hosts a podcast game show with her husband.
What?
Legit. Real thing. Go ahead and change mine for me while I'm giving the rundown, Eric. Thank you. In addition, you can find us on all of your favorite podcast listening services, such as iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbean, CastBox, Google Play. What are some of the other ones here?
Google Pods, Apple Pods, iHeartRadio, which I think you've mentioned.
That's one of the first ones I mentioned.
Overcast, which is one that we acquired a few access to a few months ago.
And don't forget to review us on Spotify.
Rate and review on Spotify. We are on Spotify. And as Brian will be apt to tell you, the W2M Network Discord server is up and running. The link for said Discord server will be available in tonight's show description put together by our executive producer, Mr. Watkins. Brian, where can people find you online?
All of our shows and stuff. Come talk to us. We like talking with our one viewer that isn't Toby.
Where can people find you online?
They can find me here on League to the Max.
Or whatever.
whatever.
Monday nights at a non-predetermined time because we're flexible like that.
Shut up, Eric.
I mean,
Not that kind of flexible family show.
I saw the look on his face. I figured I'd
I love it. I set you all for it. Set you all
I
for it
can-
and you took it.
John not often can John read a room properly, but when he does,
Yes, I am here on my very own show, A League to the Max or whatever, Mondays here on the network. We took this week off. I wasn't feeling that great on Monday. I had migraines and just
There's a bitch.
Florida's warm again. By the way, that's going to change by next week.
and then it'll change again by
I'm
next
feeling
week.
it right now.
We will.
I'm
we'll-
also here on Life is Like a Game Show, and you can now catch me on my latest venture here on the network as the disembodied voice of Point of Viewer,
One of
Fridays at 11 p.m. here on the network. And you can
For
catch
now.
me on Twitter at the Andesian, or you can always find me on Discord as well when you join the W2M network Discord server.
Jonathan, where can people find you online?
You're going to look for GTN 2002 on Twitch, on
Tweety Box.
Tweetybox. Yep. Don't use that very often, but when I do, it's usually good. Facebook has a fan page under that handle. Won't find the personal, but there's a fan page there. And also, if you throw an NY at the end, there's Instagram and even GTN 2002 on TikTok, though I got no content. I just watch other people's stuff. I found a guy who's posting game show clips, and don't be surprised if I start routing them to you guys.
Great. More.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
More.
The
TikTok
man has
that I
found
love.
the Dorothy Wayne and Joe Pressure Luck episode recently. The guy knows his stuff.
No. Don't
I
be
also
surprised.
minded it plugging the
reminding
podcast.
me of right now, Eric.
Don't be this.
You're reminding me of your gun fucked up AA Ron right now. That's the vibe I'm getting from you.
Do you know exactly why? Do you know exactly why I'm giving off that vibe?
No, I'd love to know why. Please continue to tear in.
Go ahead, take the full screen.
Because I've already had to deal with him sending me shit from TikTok that wasn't game show related.
You
when he
too.
first found the goddamn thing.
You too. I mean, literally, dead ass. Over 95% of every single direct message I have received on TikTok. There's some bitch right down here, right from him. Swear to God.
But do I share good shit?
You do, but that's not the point.
This is why my TikTok is hidden.
That's why I don't use TikTok. Eric, where can people find you online?
You got a problem with it, Eric? You can send your hate mail s.garber@gmail.com. There's my shout out of it tonight.
It's gonna end up going full circle jerk with that, aren't we? Eric,
You know what?
We're talking Newlywed Game. I mean, come on. This is the night to do it.
If I routed my hate mail to s.garber@gmail.com, he wouldn't know what the hell to do with it.
True story.
He ain't lying.
Eric, where
That's
can
how
people
much hate
find you
mail
online?
I got about this.
You can find me when I'm not here on Life is Like a Game Show. When I am not running, you may not.
His name is Eric Watkins. He's the executive producer of the network. He's on like every episode and podcast of this network, save for probably one or two.
Save for the Routledge Broadcasting Network, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's even on some of that stuff. So
we will be February 20th.
February
16 days.
20th, you say?
Give it
I should write that down.
As a W2M network exclusive.
All right, go ahead, Watkins.
Well, are you finished, Brian?
No.
Okay, you finished.
You are
first.
now. Go ahead, Eric.
He's blown his load. Go ahead.
Oh,
Enjoy my oatmeal cream pie.
it is better with the milk, but man, finding someone anyway, that'll be talked about on Point of Viewer, which you can see with me
Jesus.
Friday night.
Family show! Wow.
I don't infringe people at all, Brian.
Friday nights at 11.
I'm sorry. What was that volume warning? Let go!
To be fair, I was
I
asked
forgot he's
to do
still in
that.
the room.
I did sneak in a very quick volume warning there. Ah! I was
Six.
batted away. I was batted away. I batted it away. Batted it away.
Go ahead and
Did not
finish your
break-
plug,
did
Derek.
not break the plane.
Point of Viewer Friday nights at 11 Eastern for now. I will be on Rattleton Broadcasting as we will join the jury, all four of us, as we put the Great Game Show Classic Movie Quiz Show on trial February 20th at 11 p.m. Eastern. Soccer to the Max, where we will be covering the United States 2-0 win over Honduras in the last matches of this window's qualifying round for CONCACAF. That should be airing, if you're looking at this live, about an hour from now, but stay tuned from that. In discussions as far as returning either the kickoff or some equivalent, I am also the disembodied voice for League to the Max or whatever Mondays. So, yeah, if you're already sick of hearing my voice, I'm sorry, but too fucking bad. I'm part Jamaican. I work too many damn jobs. I'm not mentioning that Twitter on purpose because
My guess is they haven't regained access to it yet.
no, you're a smart man. Give that man a new car.
Password is off the air. Got it.
Did you
It's
say
a new car!
Ow.
That's what you get for mentioning that specific Twitter.
That was both
No,
of us, one right
no.
after the other.
we don't have the damn? This is okay. All right, Eric, come on. It's triple play. It's triple play. Come on.
A new car!
There we go.
Okay.
You mean stop at a new car?
At HEB the Eagle, pretty much everywhere you can have social media related references, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Messenger. I mean, technically you got to find Harry Broadhurst on Messenger, but I think at HEB the Eagle would find me as well. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, in addition, I am the other disembodied voice on Point of Viewer most weeks. And we do need to talk about that though, because my schedule will clash a little bit in April with the Indysiders because of it, the collective. I'll explain all.
Yes, another Rattleton Broadcasting production. And for
Which
my
I was-
social media, you finish first.
I was about to say, Indysiders episode 3 just posted on Sunday night. Mark Rattledge and myself cover ICW No Holds Barred, Volume 21. Holds, Eric, no holds barred. And GCW's World on GCW from 2022 as well. That was on the Indysiders, a TV Party Tonight presentation from the Rattledge Broadcasting Network.
I want to go on the record and say that there was something that I could have said there, but this is a family show.
That's
and
why
it's more suitable for Point of Viewer.
That's why I specifically said to Eric that it's no holds barred.
Again, you want to find stuff for what are supposedly family shows around here at Squid Sports Head. But when you're not dealing with that, the strict and thorough vetting process when you slide into my DMs, and believe me, you will be glad you did if you pass the process. If you think Point of Viewer is enough.
Yeah. You slide into this guy's DMs, you get access to dark Twitter. You slide into this guy's DMs right here, you're going to get puns and a lot of them.
He's not wrong, folks. Don't do it. Don't do it.
If you're gonna slide into Eric's DMs, I recommend using this personally.
Look, Tenga also makes a very comparable product. Anything water-based, but again, discussing
family show.
Newlywed Game, sir. It's actually appropriate this week and this week only.
That's my one for the show. Speaking of one for the
Tell
show,
me this isn't a family show without telling me that this isn't a family show.
You know what we're doing right now? I feel sorry for Eric because right now he's getting singled out.
If you don't
Speaking
mind,
of out, that'll be the show.
if you don't mind,
here as we continue Love Month on Life is Like a Game Show.
for Brian, Jonathan, and Eric, I'm Harry. We'll see you next week. I'm over this.
W2M Network.
See you next week, everybody.
Rage
Have your
quit.
dick spayed and neutered. Bye-bye.
Rage quit.